Welcome back as we've gone from ACHA Hockey After Dark to ACHA Hockey in the Dark here at the Holland Ice Center at Baxter Arena. Pleased to be alongside Jackson Roberts and Caleb Bennett. Once again, I'm Nate Obrecht, bringing you the call of this MACHA Division III Silver Central contest between the Kansas Jayhawks and the Omaha Mavericks. The two sides played to a 1-1 game after the first 20 minutes, but Kansas opened it up in the second period with two quick goals coming at the 2:28 and 3:33 marks respectively to take a 1-3 lead. Andrew Kozel would come back for the Mavericks and cut the deficit to 1, briefly making the game 3-2 for just 57 seconds. Until Zach Schubert, the hometown kid who is returning, came back for Kansas, making this a 4-2 game where it stands right now, headed into the third period of play. Omaha will be on what we thought was a man advantage. Now Ryan Huppy in the box after that last goal. It appears as he's got 1 minute and 48 seconds. We are unsure what that penalty was to Huppy. But at 19:48 of the second, it appears Ryan Huppy went off for a penalty as well. The face-off won as we are in 4-on-4 action for the next minute. And the puck is down in the Mavericks' defensive zone. Taking it out from left to right in this third period is Andrew Kozel. He gives off to Hoffman. Hoffman holds at the face-off dot, shoots, sends one on towards Mitch Miles. He'll have to cover up. Many of the Maverick Maniacs did not stick around. As you see, the glass behind Mitch Miles for this third period looks a lot clearer than it did for that second one. I don't blame them. They've got more work to do tomorrow. Kozel wins the draw, takes a shot off of it. It goes high of the cage, down into the near side corner. Dug out by Blake Hearn, and Kansas will start the rush from right to left. Puck chipped off a Duso stick and into the attack end for the Jayhawks. Tracked down by Matthew Howell for the Mavericks. 25 seconds before the Mavericks will have about 30 seconds of power play time. Logan Mercier dumps that one in behind the cage of Miles, who went out to try to stop it. Winning the puck and taking it back the other way, Blake Hearn for the Jayhawks. Hearn, backward skating, tried to feed the slot, looking for Nelson, but it was intercepted by Hoffman, who will take it back the other way. Long stretch pass up for Mercier. Mercier curls at the far side face-off dot, played off the puck, but takes out a Jayhawk on his way of doing it. Siddons carries that one in before feeding over to Travis Breyer. Breyer gets it back up to the point for Cole Walsh. Walsh to Siddons along the point. Siddons gives down low to Feeney. Feeney looking for Nelson. He couldn't catch up to it. Walsh has to track it down in the far side corner. He sends it around, and it's out to the near side point, where Breyer controls, sends it down to the hash marks for Feeney. Pressure off the puck by Sikora, and the two of them exchange words that will result in a penalty coming up. Feeney and Sikora got tangled up here along that nearest curling circle, if you will, and Sikora will be heading off because of it. Both sides killed those penalties we started out the period with. Now Wesley Sikora, 1 minute 59 seconds into the third period, will be off for an interference penalty. Neither team has scored on their power play chances tonight. The Mavericks are now 0 for 4, and the Jayhawks are 0 for 3 on their respective power play chances. This the fourth power play chance coming for Kansas. With a head of steam out of his own end comes Jack Gerber. Gerber sends a shot towards CJ Tate. Tate handles that one well. He's been playing well all evening. Now up to 22 saves on 26 shots in his third bout with Kansas. The Jayhawks take that puck back into the zone. Omaha gets to it and sends it to the length of the ice. That's Camden Fories who was able to get the puck, win the puck, and send it all the way down. 106 on the penalty given to Wesley Sikora. As Kansas trouble bringing it into the zone, they just elect to dump it in. Hunsaker knocks it down and will pause for a second before sending it all the way up to Logan Mercier, who retrieves it. Skating backwards, he drug it into the zone. It was played off of his stick, and back the other way comes Kansas. Siddons takes it in, makes a move around Hunsaker, and sends it up into the netting behind CJ, and will get a whistle with 16:42 to go in the final frame. Kansas leads Omaha 4-2. They'll have the next 41 seconds on the power play and a face-off to the left of CJ Tate, the netminder for the Mavericks tonight. Kyle Wernley is off. He is behind the bench. If the Mavericks should need him, Benji Gover is listed as the backup tonight. Oh, that puck leaks out in front, and it's put in by Caleb Dusso. Looked like Dusso might have kicked that one in. Either way, it'll be the first power play goal for either side as the Jayhawks grab a hold of their biggest lead of the night. The referees look like they'll talk about it. Was it a distinct kicking motion? As you can see, they're kind of moving their skates in the direction as if indicating a kick. This is a huge moment in this game. And the head official signals goal, much to the displeasure of CJ Tate. But 3 minutes, 27 seconds into the final frame, Kansas has extended their lead, grabbing hold of the biggest lead of the game for either side, as they are up 5-2 thanks to that last goal from Caleb Dusso. Dusso now with 8 goals on the year to go along with 23 points. Heartbreaking for the Mavericks, who had been building pressure towards the end of that second period, gave one up right at the end of the second period, and take a penalty that leads to another goal here. Now Kozel takes a shot, that one high off the glass, retrieved by Howell. He'll take it down low. It's poke checked off of his stick by the Jayhawks. Out the other way come the blue and red. Nelson leaves a pass for Dusso, the most recent goal scorer for Kansas. He sends a shot that's wide right of CJ, and out the other way comes Omaha. Howell trying to send a pass up for Mercier. It was too far for his outstretched stick. And back the other way comes Kansas. Tyler Nelson walks in, steers one towards the slot. It's intercepted by Hunsaker, and out the other way come the Mavericks. Mercier to Kozel on the backhand, back to Mercier, who toe drag, shoots in the slot, blockered away by Miles. Hits into the corner. Kansas gets to it, clears to the point. Hunsaker keeps it in at the line. A tip shot by Mercier. That one was dribbling towards the net, but sent away by Luke Nessa. Omaha still with control. Mercier up along the near side wall to Kozel, who sent a shot. It found its way out to the point for Hunsaker, who shoots and he scores! Troy Hunsaker walked it in from the point. When he got to that far side face-off dot, he let her rip over the blocker side of Mitch Miles, putting it in 4 minutes and 44 seconds into the third period. One of 3 co-captains on this team, Troy Hunsaker gets a goal at the most timely fashion for the Mavericks. It's just his second of the year, but it puts the Mavs back within two. Still time to get those 2 goals back. As Caleb Williams tracks down the puck in his own zone, it's back to Nessa. Nessa sends one towards CJ. The puck is off, but they're saying it went in first. There were 2 Jayhawks scrambling for it in the crease. As CJ looked to have it sealed up, it started leaking between his legs towards that red line. And it looks like John Feeney was the one who ended up sending that one home before it went across the line before the net went off of its moorings. So 13 seconds after Omaha made it a 2-goal game with the goal from Hunsaker, the Jayhawks are back out in front by 3 off the goal from John Feeney. Carrying it into the zone is Zolak. He sends a shot that's gloved down by Miles. I'll be interested to see a replay of that one when we get done tonight. I thought it was very close, that puck and the net coming off of its pegs. But a face-off to the right of Miles. Won by Omaha, back to the point. Hoffman takes it, shoots. That one blockered aside by Miles. It's back out to the point for Wesley Sikora. Sikora along the hash marks, battling with the Jayhawks. Had it played off of his stick by Siddons and out. Here comes Kansas. Recently took a 3-goal lead. Siddons gives it up to Nessa. Nessa back to Siddons. Below the red line. Circles around the cage. Now turns, shoots from the sharp angle, and it's in. That one somehow snuck between CJ's blocker side and that far side post, leaking behind him to give the Jayhawks a 4-goal lead. As Siddons gets his first goal of the game and a timeout, Omaha with 14:24 to go. The Jayhawks have taken now their largest lead of the game at 4 goals. The most recent one from Siddons at 5:36. A little over a minute after that last goal from Feeney. So the Jayhawks starting to score in bunches here. As Tate has now stopped 27 of 34 shots. The cleaning crew behind me wrapping up after a Mavericks NCAA victory over here on the main ice as Omaha took game 1 of the series against the Minnesota Duluth Bulldogs by a score of 5-1. The face-off. After that last Jayhawk goal at 5:36, Omaha takes it back into the neutral zone. Mercier to Kozel. Has it played off of his stick by Fantoni. Fantoni takes it in. Dumps it down behind the red line. Hunsaker the first to get it. Hunsaker to Howell on up to Mercier. Mercier sends one off the blocker of Miles. He didn't know where it was for a second. Did a good job of tracking that and covering. Miles, the only senior on this team, out of Littleton, Colorado. He's played a pivotal role in building this Jayhawks program up since the pandemic, but he did miss the second half of last year as he went on a foreign exchange trip to Wollongong University out in Australia. Now, Wollongong offers sports, of course, at their university, including bridge, cricket, football, rock climbing, rugby, golf, and a Swifties club, but they do not offer hockey. So Miles missed the second half of last year, but glad to be back with the Jayhawks this year as they'll continue a playoff run after this series with the Mavericks, their last of the year as well. Omaha tried to get that puck out into the slot. It leaks out past the blue line, and Hunsaker will have to retreat into his own end. Hunsaker sending one up for Kozel. That one past his stick. Miles leaves it behind his cage. Hunsaker sends it up to the neutral zone for Huppy. Huppy tried to find Kozel with that pass. It's intercepted by the Jayhawks. Dussault dumps it in. Omaha retrieves it as Camden Voorhees picks it up with 12:40 to play. Voorhees was looking back for Hunsaker. It was too far for him and will go all the way down. Ryan Huppy gathers that loose puck off the wall, gives it down low to Hunsaker, who's bodied off of the puck there. Now sweeps it to Hunsaker. A whistle blows as the net behind Mitch Miles has come off of its moorings. The Mavericks and Jayhawks will wrap up the regular season with the final game of this series tomorrow at 10 a.m. right back here on the Holland Ice at Baxter Arena. The sun will be baking through those big glass windows. I imagine we'll see some eye black being brought in by the players to negate the glare that those beautiful windows bring off of Center Street here in the heart of Omaha. The puck down along the near side wall, picked up by Jace Paul for the Mavericks, chipped on ahead to Hoffman. Hoffman carries into the attack zone for Omaha, sends a shot off the shin pads of Loost Van Heerden. The Jayhawks regain the puck, get it out to neutral ice. Paul smacks it down into the attacking end again for the Mavericks. Picked up by Van Heerden off the near side wall, flicked up ahead from Kyle Mead, the two Kansas City Stars. Get it up ahead to Eli Pendleton, who sends it down behind the Mavericks net. It's along the near side wall and kept in at the zone by Paul Carney. Just for a moment as Hoffman chips it around the defender. Kansas collects and will send it down behind CJ. Jace Paul tried to find Mercier. The pass missed as Mercier was headed for a change. Kansas takes it back into the zone. Siddons had it swept up at his stick. Paul gets it to Sikora. It's now up to Ryan Huppy. Huppy was looking to find Cassiopo. It was intercepted by John Feeney. Feeney, one of 6 different goal scorers for the Jayhawks tonight, gives it up to Siddons, another goal scorer for the blue and red. They couldn't work together to get a pass going as the Mavericks take it out from left to right with 10:45 to go in the game. At one point, we were in a 1-1 game. Now it is 7-3 Jayhawks. After the 2 most recent goals, a great save by CJ and another one at the line. They keep digging at it and CJ keeps saying no. Still working to get back to his feet. He's lost his stick as the Jayhawks mount the pressure. Another shot. That one saved by CJ. He's got to have 5 saves in this sequence. O'Laughlin can't get it out of the zone. Gets a stick caught up in the face of John Feeney, and Jack O'Laughlin will go off. High sticking. Going to be the call at 9:48 of the third. So Laughlin off for a high stick. And the Jayhawks back to the power play where they are 1 for 4 so far tonight. Halfway through the third, and here comes Kansas in on the rush. The pass left on the backhand, intercepted by Mercier. He'll turn and send it all the way down. Kozel going to be the first one to it. It leaks out right to him. He sends it over the cage. It rings around the glass. Out with it comes Loest Van Heerden. Pass comes across to Gerber. It's left at the line, but offside. Trying to bring it back in was Walsh. He does not agree with Joe Lozier, who cracks a smile as he points at the dot he had called the offside from. The face-off will happen there. Omaha has killed 43 seconds of this, their 5th penalty kill of the game. So far, they are 3 for 4 on the penalty kill tonight. After entering the game with an 80% percentage on the man disadvantage, Hoffman flicks that one ahead up to Huppy, who catches it in the zone. Huppy sends one that ramps off the stick of a defenseman for the Jayhawks. They'll pick it up along the near side wall and start the rush again on the power play with just 48 seconds to work. Siddons has the latest goal for the Jayhawks in this 7-3 contest at Holland Ice Center from Baxter Arena. He sends it over to Feeney. Back to Siddons in front. That one right of the cage. Picked up in the far side corner. Now sent back behind the cage. The Jayhawks will cycle with it there. It's up to the point for Caleb Dussault. Dussault gives it down low. Luke Nessa circles around the far side face-off dot. Huppy intercepts and clears the zone. Dussault has to retreat into his own end. 15 seconds and ticking on the penalty given to Jack O'Laughlin. Back into the zone comes Tyler Nelson. Nelson, leading scorer, assister, and point getter for the Jayhawks. It's fed into the slot for Dussault. His shot was off target. As the Mavericks get back to full strength, Howell picks it up in the far side corner. Loses it there. A couple of Jayhawks come together to force the puck free. Nessa gives it to Feeney, who slaps it back down low behind the Mavericks' cage. It's picked up by Howell. He's pressured by Siddons. Howell, still with Siddons on his tail, gives the puck up to Nelson. Back to Siddons. Siddons takes a shot. That one's saved by Tate. It's out to the far side wall. Cassiopo gets to it, sends it to O'Laughlin, and it's all the way down. Miles left it for a Jayhawk there. O'Laughlin takes him down. And there will be a whistle here. Not sure what they're going to call on the penalty. Will they get O'Laughlin for the cross check? Or could they be getting Blake Hearn for the hold? I think they'll call quid quo pro and will play on without a penalty being logged. Kansas wins the draw, sends that one all the way up ahead. CJ Tate nearly lost that race to Jack Gerber, who skated in on the rush and then sprayed CJ with a base load of snow. And then Gerber got a face load of mitten from O'Laughlin and Maverick Company after spraying the goaltender. One of the cardinal sins you can commit as a hockey player. Better than crashing into the netminder, though, I might add. That warrants an even greater reaction from the team. The face-off to get us restarted with 7:20 to go in this 7-3 game will be to the right of CJ Tate. Lance Medina is off to the box for the Jayhawks. We did not see the call. But Medina is going off. It doesn't appear any Mavericks will be headed to the box. So Omaha could end up with a power play after all this. After we got the approval after the Mavericks game, I moved upstairs away from the spectators and away from the crowd, so I cannot actually hear what's going on inside of this arena right now. A penalty has gone up on the board for Jack O'Loughlin for the Mavericks. A penalty has gone up on the board for number 9, Lance Medina, for the Jayhawks. And it looks like we will be skating 4-a-side, though the Jayhawks currently have 7 men on the ice. Looks like we will be going 4-a-side for the next 2 minutes at least. So O'Loughlin back in the box. He was there just 2 minutes and 28 seconds ago. O'Loughlin and Medina. And as Omaha takes the puck out of their own zone. The Maverick defense trying to work a way out of their own end. Here comes Hoffman. Hoffman carries it in along the near side wall now. Sends it out to Kozel, opposite side circle. His shot off target. Mercier waits with it. Now gives to Hoffman. Hoffman loops around, now sends a shot on. That one gloved away by Mitch Miles. Miles, 35 saves on 38 Maverick shots to this point. 6:33 to go in regulation time. He's been sharp in his first 4 meetings with the Mavs, garnering a 4-0-0 record against Omaha in 2 years of playing against the Black and Crimson. Faceoff, one and a shot by Fories, that one high of the cage. Huppy tracks it down, keeping it in the zone. Tried to leave a backhand pass that leaks over the blue line, and the Mavericks will have to regroup, get on side as it's Hunsaker. Leaving it back for Fories. Fories tried to find Huppy. It's intercepted by Feeney. Feeney walks in, shoots, saved by Tate. Oh, he was the last man back as Feeney came walking in all alone. And CJ, who despite the score, you see 7 goals and you ask sometimes why a netminder is still in there. Case in point for CJ Tate, who stops his 35th of the night on a whopping 42 shots and will have a face-off to his right. That draw won by the Jayhawks as Feeney tracks it down in the opposite side corner. He gives there to Siddons. Siddons out to the point, picked up by Breyer. Breyer had it poked up at his stick, but he's able to keep it in the zone. Now he starts to move around the far side wall, tried to feed the slot, but it's intercepted by Sikora. Out the other way come the Mavericks as Fories takes it across the red line. 20 seconds left on the dual penalties to O'Loughlin and Medina. Quick shot by Huppy is saved by Mitch Miles with 5:39 to go in regulation. The face-off down to Mitch Miles' right. As we are 4-on-4 for the next 15 seconds. Kansas flicks that one all the way up and out of the zone. First to get there is Fories, who gives to Hunsaker. Now it's along the far side wall as Zolak carries it into the attacking end for the Mavericks. Zolak on his backhand. Steers one towards Miles. That one gently patted aside and out. Back the other way come the Jayhawks as Breyer carries it across the blue line. Poke check by O'Loughlin, who fresh out of the box. 5 aside now as we're back to full strength for both teams. After the 4-on-4 from the skirmish, as it's out to the point for Breyer, who will send it down to the opposite side corner. Picked up, circling is Fantoni. Fantoni tried to feed the slot. It was there for a second, but Gerber could not contain the puck. Hunsaker now loops back into his own end with 4:40 to play in a 4-goal game. It's intercepted. Fantoni carries it back in for the Jayhawks. Tries to spin around Hunsaker. Hunsaker was having none of it. Steals the puck and takes it behind his own cage. Stopped. Switches direction. Gives up to O'Laughlin, and the Mavericks get it out of their own end. Omaha will be the 8th seed heading into next week's MACHA Division III playoffs. Those will be at the University of Maryville Ice Hockey Center in the St. Louis metro area. It's right next to the Spirit of St. Louis Airport and the southernmost point of the Missouri River. Right there at the gateway to the west, Chesterfield, Missouri to be exact, as Tate makes another great stop off the shot from Dussault along the far side wall. Another shot from the point is saved. That one from Zach Schubert. Schubert out of Lincoln, Nebraska, graduated from Lincoln East, played one season, Coach Harrahill's first season with the Junior Lancers back in the 2019-2020 season. All this information on the Jayhawks coming from a very delightful podcast to listen to, the Jayhawk Hockey Podcast. They bring a lot of different players on throughout the season, and they had a chance to talk about talk with Zach Schubert, the Nebraska native, about his time with OJL, with Westside, and with Kansas, for that matter. As Kansas chips that one off the boards and into the attacking end with under 3 minutes to go. They lead the Mavericks 7-3 and keep the puck in the zone. It's sent down along the end boards, picked up by Camden Fories, who will start the rush from left to right. Omaha has had plenty of chances tonight as they're up to 40 shots on the net of Mitch Miles. Andrew Kozel, he's got one of the goals tonight. Was trying to feed the slot, and it's back the other way for the Jayhawks. Carrying it in is Tyler Nelson. Leaves it for Dussault. Tried a sharp angled shot towards the near side corner. That one off target to the left. Omaha back the other way with it as Howell sends that one in and on net from the neutral zone. It's retrieved by Hearn, who will start the rush ahead. Picked up by John Feeney, who will play it back to his defenseman, Blake Hearn. Hearn out of Orchard Park, the home of the Buffalo Bills. You can tell why he picked the Jayhawks. That blue and red color. Mercier walks in, taken out, and the net was taken off its moorings at the same time. I don't believe Mercier even got a shot off, as he was in all alone. Reaching behind him was Zach Roberts. Roberts, the sophomore out of Orleans, Massachusetts. He'll take a seat for the rest of the game as we have 1:52 to play. Roberts goes off for hooking. At 18:08. Omaha back on the man advantage. The Mavericks are 0 for 4 tonight. Sikora gives to Hunsaker at the point. Hunsaker to Hoffman, a quick slap shot. That one saved by Miles. Huppy with another whack at it, and he's cross-checked in the back for that effort. The whistle had not blown, as it does finally sound with 1:40 to play. We mentioned the Mavericks will wrap up the regular season tomorrow at 10 a.m. here at the Holland Ice Center against the Jayhawks, who will also be wrapping up their regular season. There is potential that the two sides could meet in St. Louis for the MACHA Division III playoffs. Kansas out of their own end on the penalty kill. Feeney taken down by Hoffman. No call there. The referee's letting him play with it as Hoffman still stuck over Feeney. Now the two tangled up, cross-checking back and forth. And the referees will try to untangle the Mavericks and Jayhawks battling in front of the net of CJ Tate. Sticks are being dropped as Siddons had his stick sent into the corner. We'll talk about this. It looks like the officials will talk about this. As we'll talk about these upcoming MACHA playoffs. The first round has been set. Number 1, Missouri will take on number 8, Omaha. Number 2, Dordt will take on number 7, Arkansas. Number 3, Maryville hosts number 6, Northwestern. And the 4 seed, the Jayhawks, will be playing the Washington University of St. Louis. 2 aside will be headed to the box after that skirmish. That fracas. That Tilly. With 1 minute and 4 seconds in a 4-goal game. All we ask is that nothing extra happens in the next minute and 4. Kansas coaches asking the head official for an explanation. Mercier talking with a linesman. Lots of confusion here on the ice at the Holland Center tonight. Maybe this confusion is where the face-off should be. The referee's communicating in terms of 4-on-4. And the face-off to CJ Tate's left. With 1 minute, 4 seconds to play in this game. The face-off, won by the Jayhawks. They keep it at the point. Omaha got a goal to cut it to 3-5. Right out of the gates of the third period. Since then, Kansas has come back with 2 more goals, making it 7-3. As we get a whistle, perhaps more punching and fighting, with 44.2 seconds to go. This last minute going by about as fast as the basketball games do here at Baxter Arena. We saw one on Thursday night between the Mavericks and St. Thomas. Omaha came out with a 69-65 win, and now we're just half a game out of first place in the Summit League, which has been anybody's league so far to this point, as much of college basketball has been. And much of this ACHA Silver Central Division, for that matter, is the Jayhawks have handled the Mavericks tonight. As with 30 seconds, it's 7-3. Kansas passing around the offensive zone. Omaha sent another man to the box as we are 4-on-3 for the final 20 seconds and counting. It's back out to the point. Held there by Tyler Nelson. Nelson spent 2 seasons with Waldorf before coming to Kansas. Mercier delivers one last hit before that whistle blows. As 2 seconds and 1 tick off the clock, the horn sounds, and the Jayhawks make it 5 straight wins over the Mavericks, who fall by a score of 7-3 tonight. We'll be right back here with you for the season finale of the UNO ACHA Mavericks tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Set your alarm clocks, folks. You don't want to miss it. It is the last time Omaha will play at the Holland Ice Center this season. And we'll bring you the call right here on YouTube. For Caleb Bennett and Jackson Roberts, I'm Nate Obrecht. Have a great night.